Invest, a channel dedicated to personal finance, money management, and the power of long-term stock investing. Today's video is a very special one. It's a video that I think a lot of people require. It's about the top 10 money mistakes that you must avoid at all costs. It's a video that is inspired by mistakes that I have made in the past, and I have seen my friends, family, and colleagues make some of these mistakes. And they still do it. They're still making these mistakes as we speak. And I'm sure that you have seen people around you make these mistakes as well. I think if we understand what we are doing wrong with our money, we will be able to manage it better, and we can go from this guy who's probably living from paycheck to paycheck with no money in his pockets to this guy who just has a lot of money sitting around in his house and he's very happy about it. It's possible. It's just, the only thing that's stopping us is our mindset and our habits. So let's begin. So the number one thing that people do wrong with money is spend a lot of it. Spending way more than you should is a big mistake. We all love brand new cars. We all like to go out splurging in malls, and we all want to go out on luxurious vacations. It's okay to do some of these things once in a while, but you have to be smart about it. You cannot spend more than you can afford. You need to have a check on your cash flows. You need to understand how much money is coming into your home and how much money is going out. And if the outgoing is less than the incoming, that's the only way you're going to grow. That's the only way to financial independence. So spending money that you should not spend is a bad idea. The second mistake that people make is related to the first one, but just a little bit worse, because it's one thing to spend money that is yours. It's completely different to spend money that is not yours. So you often get sad seeing all the people around you doing these amazing things, going on these beautiful vacations and buying these amazing cars. So you get an idea. Oh, why don't I take a debt? Why don't I take a home loan, a car loan, or a personal loan? Why don't I just use that money for my instant gratification and then delay all the punishment for my future self? Maybe he will understand. He won't. He will curse you for pushing him into a debt trap. Don't take debt unless it's extremely important. You think you're smart and you'll be able to manage debt, but you won't be able to manage debt. Everyone thinks they will be able to manage debt, but they are not able to manage it. That's the problem with debt. Don't take debt unless it's absolutely essential. So the third mistake that we're going to talk about is sort of related to the first two that we discussed, but it's more of a root cause to the first two problems, and that is spending to show off or spending money emotionally. Your neighbor just bought a sports car, and now you want to buy one too because you want to show him that you know less than him. Your friends have just been to a beautiful vacation in Maldives, and they've put up their amazing pictures on Instagram, and so you decide that I have to outdo them and I have to win this competition. So you go to Bali to a vacation that you cannot afford to put pictures that are better than theirs. You're angry that your boss scolded you at work, so you go out to a mall and start splurging on things that you don't need. All of these things are the underlying problems of the first 2 points that we discussed, which is spending more than you should and taking debt. And this is just terrible advice. Don't spend to show off. Don't spend when you're in a bad state of mind. You will only make bad decisions if you do these things. Okay, it's one thing to spend money on things that you like or you require. It's a completely different thing to spend money just to show off, just to sort of, tell to the world that you are better than them. You're not. You're not. There are thousands of people who are richer than you, but still live a much more frugal and understated life than you, and they're much happier. This sort of life will not be good for you because it will continue to keep you poor. You must have seen people around you who are like this, who get massive paychecks, but then they're still living just from paycheck to paycheck. They have nothing to fall back on. They have no uh, safety net because they're just spending all of that money. Don't spend to show off. Don't spend emotionally. Bad choice. The number 4 mistake on this list is having no investment. Do you think your money is safe under your sofa or in your bank locker? Honestly, these are one of the riskiest places to keep your money because of something called inflation. You need to understand inflation. If the inflation rate in your country is say 5%, you need to make 5% more every year just to stay as rich as you were before. You're not growing, right? So if you had $100 today and your inflation rate is 5% in your country, you will need $105 next year just to stay as rich, just to maintain your level of wealth. Inflation is the monster that is eating away all your savings. If you do not have investments, you will automatically you are guaranteed to be poor. So if you are putting your money in under your sofa or putting it in bank lockers, you are guaranteeing yourself to be poor in the future. Your money consistently loses value if you don't invest. Investing gives you returns which are higher than inflation, and that's why you're able to grow your money. So say the inflation rate is 5%, but then you're investing somewhere at a 10% rate. That difference, the 5% difference, is your money actually growing with time and not reducing. So do invest. The next mistake that people do is delaying their investments. So if you think about it, not investing and investing late are equally shitty ideas. They're just as bad if you think about it. And why is that? Because the most important thing to understand about investments is the power of compounding. Power of compounding works only when you give it enough time. You think you can start investing at 40 and you'll have a massive corpus at 60? You probably won't. Yes, you may have more money at 40 to invest, but you won't have the time that is required for that money to grow. Start small. Start now. If you're 30, you cannot go back in time and start investing at 20. If you haven't done it, that time is gone. So the next best time to start investing is now. Do not delay your investments. So the next big mistake that people do is thinking that bank accounts or FDs or fixed deposits are investments. You've seen everyone on the internet telling you to go invest, and so you decide to go to your bank and put your money in a fixed deposit at a 5.5% rate when the inflation in your country is 5.1%. I am seriously telling you that me and all my friends are laughing at you. Bank accounts and FDs are not investments. If you understood the fifth point, you must have realized that in order to beat inflation, you must have returns which are higher than inflation. Okay, only then you're able to beat inflation. Otherwise, you're just losing money. You're losing money slower, but you're losing money nonetheless. bank accounts and FDs are not investments. FDs are like the worst thing ever because they're not even liquid, At least bank accounts are liquid. You can take out money when you want. Fixed deposits are not a good idea. Okay. So you see everyone in your family talking about fixed deposits when they get a child in their house. It's like, chalo aaj FD banayenge. That's a bad idea. Okay. Discourage everyone around you from fixed deposits. They are a bad idea. So you're like, okay, so I should invest in stock markets, but where do I invest? Oh, let's just call my best friend who is a stock market aficionado and ask him what the hottest stocks are. Investing on tips is probably just as bad as not investing at all. Okay, the internet is filled with the best stocks to buy, and your WhatsApp, if you join the right WhatsApp groups, you will get notifications all day about this stock or that stock going up 10x in 6 months. Don't invest on tips. Invest only when you are completely certain about a company or a mutual fund. Study before you invest. Understand what the company does. Analyze the company. Use your mind. Don't just invest on tips. They are a bad idea. The number 8 mistake that people make is having no insurance. Bad luck can strike you anytime. It doesn't send you a letter before coming. Okay? You may get ill suddenly, or your car may get into an accident one fine morning. And if you don't have insurance, you are going to lose the money that you're saving. So insurance is a way of protecting your savings from getting deployed when they shouldn't be deployed, right? So if you did not have insurance, you will have to use money in your bank account or in your index funds. You have to take out that money and you have to use it for this bad circumstance. If you had insurance, that money would stay where it's supposed to stay and the power of compounding will work. So insurance is a way to protect yourself from bad luck, which can strike anytime. So do take insurance. You can click on this video in the link that you see above. It talks about one of the worst insurance plans, which is the unit-linked insurance plans. So don't buy those. If you want to buy insurance, buy a separate term insurance and health insurance. Do not buy ULIP plans. Don't mix investments with insurance. If you want to know more, go watch that video. So the number 9 mistake that people make is having no emergency fund. So just as having an insurance is an important thing for your medical reasons or for some bad luck that may strike upon you, an emergency fund is an equally important thing. An emergency fund is sort of an addition to your insurance because sometimes insurance doesn't cover things. An emergency fund is liquid and it will help you in bad times. It's for your home repairs, it's for your car repairs, it's for an unfortunate job loss, medical bills. It can be used for many things. An emergency fund does the same things as an insurance. It helps you to keep your money where it's supposed to be, which is being invested and the power of compounding working on it. So an emergency fund will help you in bad times. It will help you steer clear of them. So an emergency fund is equally important. I would suggest having an emergency fund at least of your 3 months salary, somewhere liquid. Your emergency fund cannot be your house. You shouldn't have to sell your house in an emergency. That's not an emergency fund. It has to be liquid. It has to be something that is readily accessible, and it has to be enough that you can steer clear. It won't affect your day-to-day life, until you find a better opportunity. So start making an emergency fund. So the last mistake is a bit of a psychological one, and it is about your relationship with money itself, how you perceive money. The last mistake is probably the biggest one, which is chasing money. Money is important, very, very important. Don't let anyone tell you that it's not important. They are probably lying, you know, they're very dumb or very rich. Those are the only two times a person can say something like that. Money is very important, but if you are working in a dead-end job or chasing after degrees that pay well after you've got them only for the sake of money, then you know what? It will keep you unhappy. Chasing money is a bad idea because even if you are successful, even if you are able to get a lot of money, you will still be unhappy. You will still have these ideas in your head. What am I doing with my life? You will not find the satisfaction that is required with money. Money can buy you happiness, but it will not buy you satisfaction. Chasing money is a bad idea. Instead, chase value. Find a way to monetize your passion, as I like to call it. It's very important that you understand that money has to be the byproduct of what you do, right? So as long as you keep chasing money, you will not grow. It's important to understand what you're good at, what you really like, what you're passionate about, what you see yourself doing all your life, and then chase that. Chase value in the things you do, and money will essentially follow, right? And when you have a lot of money, you will have little problem, doing things with them. So chasing money is a bad idea. Don't chase money, chase value, chase work, right? Try to do what you love. That, I think, is the essence of how you perceive money. So that's it, folks. That's it from my side. Please let me know in the comments how you found this video, and if you want me to elaborate on some of these mistakes more, maybe how to build an emergency fund or how to start investing, please do mention it in the comments so I can understand what you want and make videos about the same. Thank you.